So here we are then, 7 days on from the last episode of Chasing 40, which you'll remember I opened up with the beautiful sounds of my ukulele playing. And the reason I'd done that was to help Bec, who I thought was going to have a terrible hangover, and I'd have to really get her going. I'd have to rouse her out of bed and get her motivated for Chasing 40. You turned out to be okay, didn't you?
I was actually, surprisingly, yeah.
But 1 week on, the tables have turned. But I noticed you haven't got a ukulele because I've got a terrible hangover today.
I'm sorry. I've looked around for a musical instrument, and while I have various things that make noises, I don't think any would suit you.
No. So if at some point during today's episode you hear and then I go silent, that's just me nodding off. I had the best intentions as well this week because we're recording on a Sunday morning. Normally we do it on a Saturday. And I'd said to myself, right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it nice and easy when I go to the football today. I'm going to have a couple of pints of Bud Light because Bud Light's now available in the UK. So I thought to myself, cutting down from my usual Carling or Guinness from 4% alcohol to 3.5
Huge
would
difference.
make all the difference. So I go into my local pub, the Weatherspoons, I say, "My darling, can I have a pint of Bud Light?" And she said, "We haven't got any." So I went straight on the Guinness, and 12 pints later, here I am.
Wow.
This is why we have to record Saturday morning, not Sunday morning. Don't feel I'm at my optimum best. But anyway, it's been a busy week. I've done so well this week, actually, because, of course, Cheltenham's been on, and that's normally the time when most blokes just spend the whole week in a betting shop and a boozer watching horse racing. And it's a good preparation as well for the Grand National entry, which is coming up in a few weeks' time. But I didn't see any of the horse racing this week at all. Didn't see one horse, didn't go to one pub. And, of course, we had St. Patrick's Night on Friday.
Yes.
Didn't even go out then. I was good. I was a really good boy until we got to yesterday, and it all went off a cliff. But I was laughing my head off through the week, and it was a story that I was reminded of, and I thought I've got to share that on this week's episode. A friend of mine, Fruin. Now, when it comes to gambling, is it just the big ones like the National? That
I'm a girl like that, so it's just like, he's got the prettiest top on.
Well, a good mate of mine, Fruin, he is a mad gambler. He loves the horse racing, and he studies the form, and he goes every year to all the big events. And Cheltenham is his big thing. It's like Christmas to him. He loves it, and each time when he goes to Cheltenham, he always ends up getting himself in the owners and trainers enclosure. He buys tickets for that, which instantly means everyone in there thinks straight away he must own a horse or he must be a very, very wealthy man. So he's rubbing shoulders with the rich and the great and the good. And a few years ago when he was there, he bumped into it. Now, this name's probably going to mean nothing to you whatsoever, but if you're a horse racing fan, you'll probably know who he is. A guy called Rich Ritchie.
No.
Who just sounds like something from Casper the Friendly Ghost.
Is that not Macaulay Culkin played him, didn't he?
I think so. In fact, if that is his name, but I believe his name, Rich Ritchie. So he's this big investment banker and he owns loads of horses as well. So a couple of years ago, they were in the parade ring at Cheltenham and they got chatting away, and Fruin says to this guy, says, "Oh, have you got any good horses, good prospects coming through?" And he goes, "I tell you what, lads, I've got this one. I can't remember the name of the horse, but he gives the name of it. We'll just call it Dave or Trigger, something like that for the story's purpose." So he says, "Yeah, lads, I've got a cracker one. It's probably not going to run until next year's Gold Cup, but if you follow it and get on it early, you might make yourself some money because this is one of the best horses I've ever seen. It's a young one at the moment. It's one to watch, I'm telling you." So he gives him the name, which, of course, we're calling Trigger for the sake of this story. So Fruin goes away from that and believes this is his destiny. This is his get-rich-quick scheme. He thinks to himself, this guy has told me it's his best ever horse. He's had multiple winners of all these Gold Cups and stuff. So this has got to be the one. If he's going out on a limb and saying, back this horse, he must know something here. He's seen something. So he goes away from Cheltenham and he decides that every week he's going to put money on this horse to win the Gold Cup next year. So as the months go by, the weeks and the months go by, he puts more and more on. And it gets to a stage where, I think it was around about January time, he's got thousands on this horse. And I'd ask him, I'd go, "How much is it now?" And he'd tell me the total. But he would always end the story when he'd tell it to me and anyone with, "But I'm telling you what, this is my destiny. This is the one. This is the get-rich-quick scheme." So anyway, it gets, I think, around about February time where they're starting to get warmed up for the preliminary races and the warm-up races for the Gold Cup. And this horse has its first race. So he says to himself, "You know what, I've obviously got the money on it for the Gold Cup. I might as well put some money on this one as well." And it was like some low-level event in Taunton or somewhere like that, some little small racetrack. So this horse, the great hope of Fruin's life, the one that is his destiny, the one that's going to make him loads of money, it goes off and it races for the first time. Halfway around the track, it pulls up, they shoot it.
Poor Trigger!
Yeah, Trigger's dead.
Oh no!
He lost all his money. Yeah. But it didn't even fall. This great horse that was going to win all sorts of cups and it was going to make him a millionaire, literally halfway through the first race, pulls up, they shoot it.
Oh! no.
So the lesson here is, kids, just be careful when you're gambling. We've got the entry coming up in a few weeks' time, so if anyone gives you a tip while you're there in the parade ring, just be mindful that shit can happen. I think that's the best way to sum it up.
Yeah.
God bless you, Trigger, or whatever your name was. I'll have to find out for next week and fill you in, but that actually happened. Anyway, this week's episode is nothing to do with horse racing. It is entitled, and a lot of people are going to be going, what the heck is this, when they open it up and they see it drop down on their iTunes? I thought you joined a cult.
A what?
And this is a question that I need to put to you, because I thought you had joined a cult. What the heck were you doing last week? We're going to play some clips of this in a few moments' time, but what I just want Bec to first do is describe where the hell you were. It was last Saturday night.
Yeah.
Because at first, when you sent me these through, I had a few beers, and I'm thinking, it must just be the ale is making this look weirder than it actually is. But I've revisited it a few times through the week, and it just gets more and more bizarre. But what the heck was it?
Well, I'll start where I thought I was going, and then tell you where I actually ended up.
Yeah.
So a mate of mine came in and she said, a friend of mine's doing some belly dancing. It's kind of like a burlesque night. Do you want to come along to it?
Yeah.
I do burlesque nights. I love them. I think they're fantastic. Usually in really nice venues, all dressed up, beautiful women, very little clothes.
Yeah.
This makes me sound a bit weird. You really want to be there.
Did you see the jealousy on my face already?
You were like, sorry, let me just, what did you say there?
Can you tell me about this? We could have done a special and have all the burlesque dancers in here right now. That would have sorted me hangover out, no problem.
So we get dressed to go. We pay for our tickets and we get ready to go. So we're imagining we're going to be in some nice cabaret club. We knew we were going somewhere in Liverpool. So with little dresses, little cardigans, high heels.
Yeah.
Fully made up, looking all pretty. Off we go. Get in the car. Get a lift over there. And we actually end up in a warehouse in Bootle Docks.
Right. Where, of course, all glamorous nights like that take place, don't they?
Yeah, and we're thinking, maybe we've missed something, because like the Titanic Hotel and everything's down that way, so there must be something dead nice. No, it was just a warehouse. There was no heating. There was no round tables with tablecloths and lanterns and wine by the bottle. In fact, there was no wine at all. My friend Nettie was the first one to shout across the din, Bec! There's no wine!
Which is a deal breaker for you as well, isn't it? So if they told you in advance, you'd have been nowhere near there.
If I was driving, I'd have left straight away. We were in benches. It was this tiny little place. It was freezing cold. And it became quite apparent quite early on that it wasn't the glamorous night of burlesque that we were expecting. It was a bit more... The best way to describe it, it was a bit more like an X-rated version of a kids' variety show at primary school.
Well, the best way I can sum it up, Bec, is I honestly thought you'd gone all David Koresh and you joined some... I was thinking, what the heck is going on with here? Where are you? Is someone trying to brainwash you here?
There was bands singing about Alice in Wonderland, but just screaming Alice, 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 Alice. There was a woman dressed as an American policeman singing random made up songs that had nothing to do with the fact she was dressed as an American policeman.
Right.
There was another woman dressed as like a chimney sweep or something, singing these random London folk tunes. There was...
you know what? You're actually making it sound really good here.
Am I?
You're making it sound like it was a massive, like, Sunday night at the Palladium type event.
Yeah, no, it really wasn't.
Should we just play a clip? Because now you'll understand why I found this really, really weird, and I wanted to ask Bec about it. Yeah, I'll go with the... Is this the first one we're going to play here now? Is this one where they're singing?
Yeah.
Right, and this isn't the speech. This is the singing
Yeah.
one. Right, and I've only just figured out what this song is. Bec's informed me this morning what the tune is. See if you can guess what this is.
I just want you to come. Oh, come on, baby. You're driving me crazy. Oh, goodness gracious. It's the great balls of fire.
Even with the end bit where she actually... Because you said to me, it is Great Balls of Fire.
Yeah.
Right, I'm still listening back to that going, is it?
Yeah.
Or she just thrown that in there? I love as well on that clip where you can hear you laugh halfway through it.
Honestly, we were like five witches just cackling.
No, this... And obviously you can't see the video, you can hear the audio. So just put this into your mind. There's a woman in like a... Was she in a blonde wig or was that her actual real hair?
No, it's... her name's Mandy, and I believe by day she goes by the name of Michael. Yeah, it was different.
Different. Yeah, listen to this. This followed on, so I get that message from Bec, and then the next one I get is this.
Isis Astati Diana.
Did she say something about ISIS there?
It sounds like ISIS and Auntie Diana. I have no idea.
ISIS and Auntie Diana or Lady Diana? On that clip, there's no one even laughing. It just sounds like silence, as if everyone's scared at that point.
I think we were. We were all pretty much. I have no idea what's going to happen next.
7 days on, I still don't know what the heck this is all about.
I have no clue whatsoever. There was also a bit, and I couldn't record it because again I was kind of just frozen to the spot. There was a lady came on and she was going to do kind of like a prayer.
Yeah.
And it sounded like she was saying it was a prayer to Lord Sugar. So I was like, what?
It might have been.
And apparently it was something about Shiva. But it sounded like she was saying Lord Sugar.
Was there a buffet at all there? Or
No,
there was. I just love it if they actually, did that DJ thing of, the buffet is now open. And at the end of the night, last orders at the bar.
To be fair, at one point I thought I was going to become the buffet and be sacrificed to some dark god.
That's the first one, the first clip where she's singing, what we played here. As we said, you can hear Beck laughing and you can hear a few other chuckles in there. That last one, you can tell the penny's dropped. This is weird shit going on here.
We're not getting out of here alive, people.
We're either going to be killed or we need to leave, and we need to leave very, very quickly. There's a reason we've been brought to an abandoned warehouse in the docks in Bootle, and I don't think it's a very, very good one. So just to confirm then, you haven't joined the cult?
I don't think I have. That's not to say I wasn't pumped full of some weird gas or injected on the night, but as far as I'm aware, no, I'm still as I was.
You need to send me a disclaimer when you send weird videos like that. I was about to ring the police. Yes, apparently she's in Bootle somewhere. Yeah, it's a cult. You've got her. No, I'm serious. Yeah, I have had a couple of drinks, but no, I'll send you the video if you want. Give us your number, I'll add you on the WhatsApp group. Strange times.
Yeah, it was.
But back to something really, really valid that you've made point wise, and something that you need to remember going forward. You need to invite me to one of these burlesque nights. I want to make that clear. Okay. I wasn't joking about that. The next one, I want to go. The weird shit, leave me out of that one, but with the burlesque stuff. Hey, one thing someone said to me while we're on the subject of weird singing, I've been asked a couple of times through the week whether or not I'm trying to get myself a record contract.
You?
Yeah, because I was like, no. But then I revisited some of the episodes, and it would appear that every single week on the show, I sing. Last week I had the ukulele, yeah. If someone gave me a list of songs that I've apparently sung so far. Michael Bolton on the first episode, I sung 2 versions of his songs. I've done a version of UB40 Red Red Wine on an episode of Chasing 40. I don't remember doing that at all. No. But apparently I even did the musical part at the start. The do 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 do. That's Kingston Sound, isn't it? Red Red. I can't remember singing Red Red Wine. But that one I did. I don't know why I did it, but and Drake as well. But I was mocking Drake. I don't even know a Drake song. But no, I'm not trying to get a recording contract. But to be honest, though, I don't think I've got that bad a voice.
Really?
Yeah, as I think as I've got older. I've told you the story how I got into radio, haven't I? It was purely by accident.
No.
Because I was going to be a rock and roll star.
Gosh, here we go.
No, it's a true story. Right. I'm 15 years of age, and the school, whatever his name is, comes up to me. The careers advisor guy comes up and he goes, right, you're going to be doing your work experience soon. What is it you're going to be? So I said, I'm not bothered, give it to somebody. Because I just thought that's how easy it was. Let someone else go somewhere. I'm going to be a rock and roll star, because I was in a little band at that point. The main problem with the band was that we were absolutely crap. And my vocal ability wasn't as it should be, shall we say. But anyway, I was told that I couldn't just be a rock and roll star for 2 weeks. I had to go and do something, so I picked a radio station, and that's how I got into radio. Oh, wow. All these years on, I'm still in front of a microphone. But if we go back to 1996 or 95 when that happened. Vocal abilities weren't that great. I think now at the age of 26, 26, 26, edit 26, at the age of 26, I think I've got a decent voice, and I've been displaying my vocal ability.
Or maybe just with the old age that you're acquiring, you're going a bit hard hearing and you think you can sing.
No, my mate's 40th, Neil Quigley, last year, right, he hired some acts, including a guy, Mike Sterling, his name is, and he was the lead in Les Mis in the West End and Phantom of the Opera.
Right.
And we had a, he did a little turn at the party, sung some songs from the musicals. Then afterwards, I had a party back at my room, which went until 5 in the morning. And Mike came back, was one of the people who came back to the party at Nolan's room, and he told me I had a good voice. Admittedly, we
What
both
time
had
was
about
this?
20 pints of lager at that point, and it was about 5 in the morning.
There you go.
And I was on the verge of being kicked out the hotel for that singing as well. But he still definitely, I do remember him saying, "You've got a decent voice."
And has he kept in touch with you and invited you to take part in a West End show?
Well, I wished him happy birthday the other day, and he liked it on Facebook.
Well, then, in which case...
Does that count? Hey, we need to mention that, actually, talking of social media. Bec, do you want to tell us who... Was it LinkedIn, or was it... What is it?
It was LinkedIn, so I got up was it Friday morning? I got up, and it was dead early, and I had a connection request, because you don't make friends on LinkedIn, because it's very professional on there. A connection request from a guy called Barry Whitwam.
Right.
And I was like, I have no idea who this guy is. So I clicked on his
Whitwam.
profile. Yeah. And he's the drummer from Herman's Hermits.
Oh.
And I was like, I'm going to be your connection.
Something tells me he was onto something good that day.
Ba-doom.
Now, let's be honest, how many people listening right now are going, "What are you talking about?" Just stop and Google. See, it's a Herman's Hermits song.
You can go on Spotify and do it. I spent the whole day listening to all the tracks.
Herman's Hermits. They were all right. I remember once buying a Herman's Hermits CD from my dad. When you've got one of those panic moments where you forget it's someone's birthday. I think it was a birthday or Father's Day. And I just went in home and bargained. It was there for £1. So I remember looking at it going, I don't even like Herman's Hermits. Something tells me I'm into something good. And there's the one about milk they sing. There's good songs on there.
Henry Yates.
Yeah, only about 7 tracks on it. So have you had any interaction with him then, or just...
I sent him a message, but rudely, he's not replied.
Oh, what's going on there?
I know.
Well, it got me thinking though about celebrity followers and celebrity connections that I've made over the years. And I asked you to compile a list. Have you got a list of the celebrities who are these on Twitter or?
They're a mix between Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram and LinkedIn.
Do you know my it's quite a romantic showbiz tale. Look at me, I'm going down memory lane. It must be the booze from last night. Told you how I got into radio. Now I'm going to tell you how I got into social media. But my first ever friend on Facebook was the chef, the bald guy. What's his name? Simon Rimmer.
Simon Rimmer?
Yeah, I remember because I finally decided I was going to, because I hated it, and I still hate it now. But I thought, right, I'm going to give this Facebook thing a try, and I was interviewing him that day. So I said, I'll add you as a friend on Facebook. And I thought from that point on, we'd be best friends forever. Sharing Christmas cards, I'd be going to family parties. But I think I've interviewed him about 3 times since, and we've had no interaction. And he doesn't wish me a happy birthday every year as well.
I don't know, was on your strawberries, but I'm friends with him on there and LinkedIn, so double a friend that you are.
So, I'm over that now anyway. Go on, give us your list.
So Simon from Trevor and Simon.
Right, okay.
Swing Your Pants, which is one of my favourite ones. I did a show with him years ago, and we've remained best pals ever since. Same thing as you, though, we never tweet or anything. He doesn't call, he doesn't write. Sian Lloyd, the weather girl.
Right, okay. The big hitters here. Herman's so far. Yeah. The weather girl who went out with Lempic Opic.
Craig Phillips.
Big brother Craig Phillips.
I think he's friends with everyone, though. Suzanne Collins, actress.
Yeah.
Used to be in Brookside. This one's quite random. Axel Brown. He's isn't that a cool name?
Axel Brown.
Sounds
like a wrestler.
He's part of the British bobsled team. I think that's a cool one. And my 2 favourites: Thomas Schaffernacker, the weather guy.
What is it with you and weather people?
I don't know. I'm friends with him because he does really good doodle knackers. I'm a little bit obsessed, so I just tweet him all the time.
It's a doodle knacker?
Or
doodle knacker? Why did you say it?
Doodle knacker.
Doodle knacker.
Because his name's Schaffernacker. And he
What?
So his name's Thomas Schaffernacker.
Yeah.
And then he doodles the weather. And he's a really good artist, and he calls them his doodle knackers, and I'm a bit obsessed with his doodle knackers.
Schaffernacker, you're obsessed with Schaffernackers doodle knackers. What the?
But my favourite, and this just proves that we are destined to be together, Matt Goss follows me on Twitter.
Does he?
The real Matt Goss follows me on Twitter.
I'm looking at my list now, and I've got one. I had one which I thought this will be great. Beck will be made it with this one, but he's unfollowed me. Well, actually, he never even followed me in the first place because when he started doing it, he was dead. Tupac.
What?
Tupac, the official Tupac Twitter account, followed me on Twitter for a while, and it was weird because I must have tweeted about Tupac at some point, and his estate went, I like that, and followed him. But Tupac only followed about 146 people. I was one of them.
I'm
there must have been
impressed with
so
that.
many people. So off the back of that, because I remember it happening, and I was like, wow, this is amazing, because I quite like Tupac. But I was then getting followed by so many like important people in like the music industry and like Sony Records and all sorts.
Wow.
They must have thought I was some. Well, obviously, if they heard today's podcast and hear me singing, maybe they will go, yes, now we've heard him sing, we'll give him that recording contract that he deserves. But I clicked on because I was going to get a screenshot, and he's unfollowed me.
Oh, do you know what? That's when it's official. That's the biggest diss now, isn't it? If someone unfollows or unfriends you on social media.
I've been unfollowed by a dead person. How low can you go? Right,
6 foot.
I've got this. This is a brilliant one, and I still to this day don't know why, but she does. Cedar Garrett. Do you know who that is?
No idea.
Cedar Garrett is the woman who wrote with Michael Jackson "Man in the Mirror." Well, actually wrote "Man in the Mirror" for him, and then sung on "I Can't Stop Loving You" in the Bad album.
I'm impressed.
So Cedar Garrett follows me. I think that might.
It's
have
no
some-
Shafanacker.
I think I know, and she doesn't doodle, and she hasn't got any knackers either. But it's still
think?
impressive. I think that might be though something to do with when, as I say, Tupac getting involved with me, and then all Sony Records and everyone following me. But it goes spectacularly downhill at that point. A bloke called Tully Blanchard, who's a famous wrestler. He was a famous wrestler in the 80s.
Is he dead now?
No,
Oh,
he's very much alive. I thought my list was longer than this. Kavana.
Get out of town.
Oh. And the reason he follows, you know what, like I'll play a little clip now.
I champion 1990s music. I love it all.
Now, you love 1990s music. You idolise it.
Everything, like, Betty McLean, like Five, but my ultimate song is Special Kind of Something. Love that. It's like when it first came out, it's on repeat, non-stop.
You couldn't make his day and sing a few lines from Special Kind of Something, could you?
So I think it went something like, somebody said that I would make it big. Somebody said that I would be the kid to go all the way. Remember that?
Hey!
You made
And
this
this is,
guy.
by the way, this is me stood in the middle of Piccadilly Circus with like businessmen looking at me going, who is he singing to?
It's off the back of this interview, because when he wasn't he on some sort of program a few years ago. I say a few years ago, probably all 10 years ago now, like a Grease thing.
I've got no idea.
They were trying to find like one of them reality TV things. They were trying to find the next cast, next Danny Zuko. I think it was that. I'll have to Google it. And he turns up on there. He was down his luck. Like, used to be a pop star, now trying to get back into the public eye. So he did that, and then he ended up on Big Brother, didn't he? Celebrity Big Brother a couple of years ago. So Scott, who we were talking about last week, who you heard on that clip then, he was a massive fan of 90s pop. So he said, we've got to get... Here we go again. We've got to get Kavana on. By the way...
Hiya, Scott. Nice to have you in the room.
Yeah, hi Scott, and thanks for not unfriending me on Facebook or Twitter after my impersonation that I did of you on last week's show. If you want to know what that's all about, by the way, check out episode 4. But yeah, we got him on the show. So yeah, Kavana, but that's it. That literally is
rubbish.
it. That's pathetic, isn't it?
I've well whooped your ass on that.
Yeah, but the thing is I'll tell you one good thing that I have got over you. If I go into my phone now and make a quick phone call. Let me see. Here we go. I don't need to tweet people when I've got celebrities that I can ring just like this.
Hello, I'm sorry I'm not available to take your call, but if you'd like to leave your message after the tone, I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you. Bye.
When you've finished recording, just hang up. Or if you want to re-record your message, press the hash key.
So he never answers the phone anyway, so... yeah. I've just destroyed any credibility I had there, haven't I?
Oh, totally, yes. Well
Tully
done.
Blanchard, Kavana, and I've just rung a chuckle brother. Hey, that's showbiz, kids. Of course, then last week we were playing some clips and I was talking about Scott, who we just mentioned before our little break then. And I was laughing, thinking about... Because people are mocking me for my singing right on the show. Did you ever hear Scott sing when you worked with him?
I think I did vaguely, yeah, for about a second.
He loved pop music, and I mean, not in a sort of the odd song, guilty pleasures. His playlist consisted of Five, New Kids on the Block, you name it, anything poppy he thought was absolutely great, including Kavana. When we had him, we played the clip before, when we had Kavana on the show, this was like his big come to Jesus moment. Oh, Kavana, I love this. I love Special Kind of Something, or whatever song it was you sing. But I remember with Scott, he like nothing better than to come in and have a good sing-song.
I want it now, baby. Come and get it on, baby. I want it now, baby.
He didn't just do the pop songs, though. He did some ballads.
I'm leaning on the everlasting arms.
There's a story behind him actually doing that song, that version of I Believe I Can Fly. Remember, I think it was X Factor, when they had Eaton Roads. Does that ring any bells?
Yes.
Band called Eaton Roads. Probably about now, around about the time, was it before? It might have been before Jedward, before or after Jedward. So we're talking about coming up on about 10 years ago. But there was a band called Eaton Roads, and they went through some trials and tribulations, shall we say, after they left the X Factor. And there was a stage in their career where a couple of them dropped out, so they needed to replace, they needed new members. And because they were local to the area where we were broadcasting, we decided to answer the call and get Scott to audition for Eaton Roads. So we got the guys to come on the show, and we said, you know, Scott's really into his pop music, he's really passionate, he wants to make a career, he wants to move from Traffic and Travel into the world of singing. Would you have a little listen to him and see if you think he's suitable for the band? Now, we thought after like 30 seconds of hearing that, they would just start laughing. Not even 30 seconds, 10 seconds, they'd get on to the fact it was a joke, start laughing. The guy stayed there, listened to the whole song.
No.
Afterwards, there was a pause, and then he went, I think he's really good, yeah. What the hell? So we're carrying it on, and we're getting Scott to get all emotional, talking about how, you know, this could be a game changer for him and what he wants to do. And the bloke just was buying everything we were selling, everything we were giving to him. He was taking it as fact and thinking it was serious. So at the end of the interview, the end of the piece that we'd done on air, he came across like a total idiot. He didn't look good, because it's a clear joke. Scott was clearly the most inept singer for a boy band in the world. But he's like, no, I think I can see a future. You know, we'll think about it and we'll come back to him. But then obviously when the interview had ended, people had probably rung up the guy and said, you do realise they've just been taking the mickey out of you. Because I think we were talking, I think I introduced them saying their career was still going strong and that they were playing Bognor Regis Butlands, which they were, but it was the way I'd said it. So obviously he listened back to it and agreed that we were taking the mick out of him and finally got the joke. But after that, I had so many uncomfortable moments where we go to parties, or including once, I was sat in the pub on a Sunday and I was just reading the paper and I looked up and he was there with his family in this little pub that we used to go to. Oh. And they were all staring at me. I had to leave the pub.
Stalking you?
Yeah, because of some X Factor reject, I had to leave the pub. I was intimidated to have my own local. But yes, that's it now. No more singing. I'm not going to sing next week on the show. And
maybe I will.
Yeah, maybe you. Well, you can learn a trick off them clips we heard before. Yeah. If you can do this next week. Hey, on the subject of social media, have you seen all my food posts? I've become a foodie through the week.
Haven't you? You've been one of those people who keep posting pictures of your dinner.
Well, I was saying to you as well before we started recording today, when I was looking through to see what celebrity followers I had on Facebook and on Twitter, I did notice so many people who I worked closely with for many, many years and I thought were good friends had deleted me on Facebook. What is that? What's going on? It's like, blimey heck, if you don't know the person, yeah, you can do that. If you're Tupac, you can delete me, but if you work with me in a small room for 3 years, you can't delete me as a friend on Facebook.
Manners dictate that you just unfollow them.
So if you everyone listening right now, if you are friends with me online, just have a little check, because if I find out you're deleted, that's it. I'm banning you from listening to this. The ultimate punishment. But yeah, I'm wondering if, though, when I was looking at these people who got rid of me, I'm thinking, is it because of this week I've turned into one of those people where them annoying ones where they either put pictures of the kids up or put pictures of food up all the time. Yeah. But I've been well proud of myself this week, Beck, because I've got a cookbook, one of those.
Is it Lean in 15?
Lean in 15, yeah. So he's like, all these meals you can do in 15 minutes. Right, the quickest I got one of them done was about like 55 minutes.
Really?
50, that's impossible, man. I don't care. You'd have to be going like lightning, whipping all these things up. I made a sloppy Joe pizza. That took me over 2 hours.
It's a pizza. How can that take 2 hours?
Because it was like making the dough out of yogurt and flour, and it's just confusing. And then I had to chop all the bits and the mince, and then I put the mince on top of the pizza and cook the pizza. Then I convinced myself that it wasn't cooked properly, so I had to cook it for a little bit longer. It was confusing. I got it done, and that's why I put the picture up online. But I've cooked loads of stuff this week, some nice burritos, some like egg and ham contraption thing. Loads of good stuff from those books. So every single day I've been putting the pictures up on there. So I wonder if that's the thing. That's why people have deleted me.
Possibly.
Because I'm a food. Hey, talking about food, whereas I've been going out shopping and sourcing local ingredients from the butchers and stuff like that. You've been back to your old tricks with Amazon, haven't you?
I have.
Oh, Beck, by the way, Beck nearly got someone sacked. Because he didn't bring a wine.
No, I'd done a shop and then I realised I forgot some very important ingredients for my life, including wine. So I thought, I'll do one of these Prime Now orders again. So you've got to spend like 20 quid. So it was a bottle of wine. I needed some peppers. I'd forgotten to get peppers. a few other bits and pieces. Got there, sent off the order. Delivery time between 6 and 8 o'clock, gets to 8:10. I've still not had a glass of wine, so I'm starting to get a little bit tetchy and get the shakes.
Yeah.
Tried to ring him, couldn't get hold of him, don't know where Barry is. I'm a bit like, right, answer your phone now. Barry's nicked off with my peppers, hasn't he?
What happened to Fernando, by the way? Wasn't he a normal fellow who dropped the stuff off?
Verdasco. Yeah,
Fernando.
I think he's had to take some time off.
Oh, Verdasco. He sounds like some sort of Portuguese singer, doesn't he?
ABBA once sung about him.
Yeah. So yeah. Barry turns up late.
Barry wasn't even around, couldn't even get hold of Barry, so I had to ring Amazon themselves and say, look, I ordered this order, you've took my money off me, and my wine and my peppers and my other goods haven't turned up. So they give them their dues, they've reimbursed me, I got the money back. Then like an hour later, Barry's at the door.
Oh, so did you get the stuff for free?
I got the stuff for free.
Oh.
Yeah. But I was like, I'm really, really sorry. I did have to ring Amazon because I couldn't get hold of you. And he just went on his whole life story about how his car had broken down and they're self-employed and they only have to work for 2 hours and that's all he get paid for. But he felt really bad because the wine and the peppers were in his car, so he managed to get them and get them to me eventually. So yeah, sorry Barry if you're on the dole now.
Poor Barry's been sacked then. It's because of Bec, and I still don't understand why you've got a shop. I can see the shop from your window.
I did that once this week. I went and I'm never doing it again.
Yeah, but you did buy something really strange.
Well,
it was a strange collection of things. No wonder you got funny looks.
I'm obsessed with scented candles.
Right.
And I'd ran out of scented candles, so I needed a scented candle.
What else did you buy? Because it just
a bottle of wine.
Because when you told me this, when you said to me I went to shop and this happened, I said, well, you're going to get looked like that, aren't you? So Bec bought herself, come on.
I went in with my little basket and I left with a bottle of wine, some batteries and scented candles.
And didn't you say the woman looked at you like...
I didn't click until she looked at the basket, looked at me, looked at the basket, gave me a knowing wink. And I was just like, oh, get me out of here. I'm never doing face-to-face shopping again.
Great night she's going to be having later.
Yeah. Spot the spinster.
Yeah. It's a pity you didn't get a CD as well, 20 greatest love songs as well to go with it. That just would have added to the aura of the funky night that you were about to go on.
And some baby oil.
Yeah. It's getting weird, isn't it? You know, why don't you next week just order that from Amazon just so we and record Barry's face when he turns up and hangs round looking through your window to see you. Just checking. Just want to make sure you're all right. Get away, Barry, you creep. I'm sure Barry's a nice man and he wouldn't do stuff
lovely.
like that. So yeah, I can't believe actually, by the way, we're on episode 5 now of Chasing 40. Thanks for the support. We've had so many downloads, so many subscriptions coming in every week. Remember, if you do want to get involved in the show and get in touch with us and give us your thoughts, you can leave your feedback on one of the various platforms that you're listening on, or you can contact us via Twitter. All the contact details, all the ways to get involved and to reach out to the show are available in the description of wherever you're listening right now. But once again, thank you very much for making it such a success so far. In the coming weeks, actually, what we're going to start doing is we're going to be incorporating some guests. I think we'll get some guests on Chasing 40. I'm getting so many people who are saying to me, I want to come in and I want to get involved in Chasing 40. So we'll be hearing a few more voices on the show in the coming weeks, including our old friend John McCrimmon.
I knew you were going to say him. Is he still going?
He's still going.
Cool.
I don't know whether he's employed by anyone, but I know he's still going the horse racing. John McCrimmon, one of the craziest people, but one of the loveliest people. Yeah. So if you are a big fan of horse racing, John McCrimmon, stay tuned. We've got some very special bits and bobs from him.
I used to be quite scared of him. It was all the big facial hair stuff. Used to freak me out a bit.
You did speak to him, didn't you?
Yeah. Oh no, it was lovely. But I was just a little bit scared of him to start with. It was just big bushy hair on his face.
I'll tell you a lovely story actually about John McCrimmon, because he's one of them people that I'm not going to tell it now. I'm going to tell it in future episodes. You'll have to stay tuned for that one.
Tease.
Yeah, but he's got a reputation, hasn't he? Which is, to be honest, it's his own fault the way he acts. But deep down, he does some nice things for charity, and he's done some lovely things over the years. But that's for another day, it's for another story, it's for another episode. Thank you very much for listening this week, and we'll catch you next week for Chasing 40 episode 6.